Hello. This is way out of my comfort zone, and I didn't realize so many of you would be extremely confused by my accent. I was born in the UK. My mum is Austrian and my dad is Belgian, so I hope that clears things for people that thought I was South African or Australian for some reason. And I took a bunch of screenshots of all the questions you guys asked me, so I'm hoping I can do this well. I've wanted to make videos like this for a really long time, and I just couldn't pick up the courage to do it. So here we are, because I do get a lot of questions about how I make my work and why I make my work and what exactly my job is or what I'm trying to do. And to be honest, I don't really know. Maybe once a month, I get the feeling I just want to go to the mountains and live a quiet life where no one looks at me or talks to me, which is why I think it's so hard to make these kinds of videos, because at the end of the day, you're putting yourself in a position for people to see you. I think there's something really precious to that people don't get to see that. But then at the same time, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, I'm trying my best. I hope you guys like it. And hopefully I can do a good job in answering them. Everyone keeps asking me what I use to draw, how I make my shading really smooth. I have to Google what they're called one sec. I think it's like pencil blenders. I just know what they look like. A blending stump. I mainly use the small sizes. You can basically just shade a tiny little part of a drawing. The paper really does depend. I'm still kind of in the process of finding the perfect paper. Yeah, if you use these blenders, you can blend out and it creates a much smoother surface than if you were to shade with a pencil. I only use a 2B and a 9B pencil. Using those little blenders, you can make it lighter, and then you don't even need to use a pencil because the graphite is already on the blender. I really hope this is making sense. Another question that someone asked was, where do I get my inspiration? It's kind of hard to describe because the people that inspire me, I don't really think that you can see that in my work. Or maybe you can, I don't know. But I'm pretty obsessed with Egon Schiele, Klimt, which might sound extremely basic to some people. But Egon Schiele is basically the person that made me fall in love with art. Probably I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Belinda de Bruyker. She makes these really yucky wax figures of like women and horses, creating something that's really uncomfortable. Sounds so silly. I don't know. I went to uni in England, in London, and I still really vividly remember someone saying, or one of my teachers telling me, that you kind of have to think about what feeling you're going to give to the person looking at your work. It always really stuck with me. When I was only tattooing and wasn't really making it, I'm going to have to stick this on something. That's what all the influencers do, right? I forgot what I was saying. How do you want your audience to feel? Interesting, because you always think about your work and what your work is, which obviously is a big part of, are forced to think more about why you're creating what you're creating. Even if it's something fun, even if it's not that deep, or like you're not creating art to make someone feel something, that's fine. I just really like putting something in my work that impacts the viewer. I don't know if that's been working. I don't know if it makes you guys uncomfortable. Maybe not uncomfortable, but I can't yet describe it really. But yeah, I really like the idea of having something that's seen as really beautiful. The piece that I did with the oyster and the knives, I'm hoping the people that have even gotten this far in this video are watching because they know what piece I'm talking about. I just really like the fact that an oyster and a pearl is seen as something really precious and pretty. And you've just got these knives that are sticking into it. It just makes you wonder why. Like, you can take it however you want, feeling something from that, whether it's the pearl is being protected, someone wants to take the pearl, whatever little story you create while looking at it, as long as you're creating something that reflects what you want to show. That's the things that I like. I love wearing jewelry. I love looking at jewelry. I used to go to museums just to look at jewelry, like old Art Nouveau, and I think you can definitely see that in my work. And then combining that with something really uncomfortable, whether it's a skull or a knife. And I just really, I don't know, I think it reflects who I am as a person. I think that that's just the things that come to me quite easily to create. I'm still trying to figure out what my work is. Everyone wants to show their work and be authentic, and it's really fucking hard for me, at least, to pick up the courage to just sit in front of a camera and speak. There are people that are going to be like, oh well, no one cares, or whatever their opinion might be. I don't know, maybe it's January, maybe it's the new year. I feel like a lot of people are just feeling quite lost at the moment, and that you don't really know what you're doing, and I think that's fine. I have no idea what I'm doing half of the time. And someone said, how do you stop bed rotting? I feel like people forget that you guys literally see like 10 minutes of my day, if that. And my drawings take sometimes months and sometimes an hour. That just puts pressure on yourself to create something. Just want to do it without having to film it. Obviously, I want to show my work. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get somewhere really fast by a certain age. Maybe this is just me. You guys can tell me what you think. I think it's so fine to have struggles and not know who you are as an artist. I feel like this video is going to be like 20 minutes long. I think bed rotting is part of it. Being unproductive is actually being like productive in your brain. Well, at least for me, or just taking time for yourself. You're allowed to sit in your bed and do nothing. Brain is always working anyway. So the people that are saying like, oh my God, how are you doing all these things? I'm at home a lot. I like being at home. I like being alone in my little bubble. Someone said, how do you keep all your white stuff clean? I don't. There's paint on everything I own. You guys just can't see it. Someone said, what drives you to do what you do? This is going to sound really cliche, but I just want to give my family everything that they gave me. But yeah, I think that that's what drives a lot of people. And obviously also to show people my work, and I love everything about drawing. I'm not saying that that's how it has to be, but for me, I mean, the best thing you can do is making a living from what you love doing, which that's a really good question. What drives you to do what you do? Okay, my storage is running out.